morning. Toot, 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 toot. Toot, toot. Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah, testing. 1, 2, 2. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 2. Testing. 2, 2, 2. Check, 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 check. 2, 2, 2, 2.
Hello, friends. I hope that you are having a wonderful Audacity conference so far. Unfortunately, I was not able to join this year, but I wanted to send a quick message just saying how excited we are at Counselor to have the opportunity to join with Brad Dodson at Blue Wing to sponsor the Student Business Plan Competition. This is always one of my favorite events every year at Audacity, and I just love seeing how many previous competitors have taken their business plan competition entries and used them to build thriving businesses from the ground up. I feel like this event exemplifies ADA, and I love the impact it has had on our profession as a whole. Now, to spread the love a little bit more, we have a surprise. In fact, we have 10 surprises. When you arrived at the event today, you likely saw a Counselor flyer on your seat. If you didn't see it, I'd recommend you look. It's probably underneath. Yeah, so just stand up and take a peek. But flip it over, take a look at the back of the flyer. If you see a heart-shaped sticker, you have won. So you have won an outdoor Bluetooth wireless speaker. So take that to the ADA staff, they'd be happy to get your speaker. In closing, I just want to say a big congratulations to all the finalists. You've done a wonderful job making this far. I hope you have a wonderful presentation today. You've done yourself, your universities, and our profession proud. So have fun, everyone, and on with the show.
Good morning. Welcome. It's time to wake up. Please take your seats too, so we can get this business plan started.
Good morning, Audacity attendees, and welcome to the 2021 ADA Student Business Plan Competition. My name is Dr. Dawn Hyman, and with me is Dr. Jason Leyendecker. And we are delighted to be your co-MCs for today's exciting event. As audiology practice owners, ADA board members, and longtime members of this community, we believe that the ADA Student Business Plan Competition is one of the most important events that we host at Audacity every year. Since its inception, just 8 years ago, several ADA Business Plan Competition finalists have gone on to own their own practices. So this event continues to have transformative impact for students who are interested in private practice ownership and practice management.
That's right, Don. This is such an important event for the future practice owners, and we couldn't do it without the generous support of our sponsors. Let's have a round of applause for Blue Wing Hearing Care and Counsel Ear for underwriting the prize money, contestant travel expenses, and administrative costs for the 2021 competition. This year's grand prize is $5,000. Second place is $3,000, and third place is $2,000. An honorable mention will receive $1,000. Wow! Thank you again, Counsel Ear and Blue Wing Hearing Care.
The ADA Business Plan Competition could not succeed without the generous time, commitment of our illustrious judges that you see behind you. This year's judges bring forth a wealth of experience and expertise, and at this time it is our pleasure to introduce them to you. First, speaking of ADA Business Plan Competition finalists who have gone on to success in private practice, let's meet judge number one, Dr. Lana Joseph Ford, affectionately known to her patients as Dr. J. Dr. J was a finalist in the first ADA Business Plan Competition in 2013 when she was an Au.D student at Washington University in St. Louis. From her humble beginnings as an author of the audiologist2be.com blog to owning a practice with an 8-figure valuation by Goldman Sachs. Dr. J is the founder and CEO of High Level Speech and Hearing Center, seeing over 15,000 patients annually. Among her most notable clients includes world-renowned music artist Drake. Dr. J has been featured in Forbes, Women's Health magazine. I'm gonna cry, I'm so proud of you. Gambit 40 and Under 40, and currently hosts a news health segment on Great Day, Louisiana. She was named one of the top 10 CEOs in Louisiana in 2018 by Biz Magazine, and her practice was named Business of the Year in 2019. Dr. J has recently launched a new product line, and you can find it on Instagram, by the way. Drums Earwear, to not only cater to musicians and audiophiles, but to advocate for new opportunities for audiologists. Thank you, Dr. J. Next, please welcome a number one of my favorite audiologists as well, Dr. Whitney Swander. Dr. Swander is a private practice owner. She fell into and in love with private practice as a new graduate in 2000. She discovered that the best way to treat patients' hearing problems was to partner with them and empower them to take back their hearing. She purchased hearing healthcare centers from her boss and mentor in 2008. And since, she has grown the practice from 2 locations to 7 locations. And she has 18 employees serving Colorado's Front Range region. Welcome, Dr. Swander. And last but not least, please join me in welcoming our judge number 3, Mr. Brad Dodson. Brad has been helping independent audiologists grow their practices for the past decade. He currently serves as a regional account executive for Blue Wing Hearing Care. His analytical business mind and understanding of the macro audiology practice landscape make him an invaluable resource for a judges panel. And I met him yesterday, and he's amazing. So welcome, judges. Thank you for being here.
Thank you to all of our judges. The judges have been evaluating the student business plans over the past several months and are now here. We are here to have a final live competition. Hopefully, all of you in the audience have had the opportunity to visit the students' posters in the exhibit hall and discuss their ideas for private practice. Business plans were judged based on the following criteria: creativity, feasibility, completeness, cohesiveness, and professionalism. Today's portion of the competition is about using the skills they have developed and selling their ideas to the judges. I can't wait to see how everything comes together as our 4 competitors and teams take the stage. Are you ready? Okay, let's begin without further delay. Please join me in welcoming our first contestant, EmilyAnn Duffley, representing Northwestern University with the business plan for neuroaudiology. Welcome, EmilyAnn.
All right, who's ready for some rookie audiology on the side of your breakfast? Neuroaudiology, examining how your ears and brain process sound and finding ways to help improve your communication outcomes. I'm going to be going through bits of my practice with a little help from my patient. Here at Neuroaudiology, we recognize that hearing healthcare does not stop at the ears. Hey, there are her ears. As the practice audiologist, I place a special emphasis on looking at how each child's unique brain processes sound in the context of their lifestyle and learning environment. Clearly, my patient is very upset because her ears, auditory pathway, and brain are not functioning optimally in classroom situations at school, on the playground, at her dance class, and at home with family. But lucky for her, I analyze breakdowns along the auditory pathway and have a vast array of technologies and auditory training programs offered as treatment. Everything from acoustic pioneer to hearing aids, if my patient needs it, I have their back. I also carefully measure the progress and outcomes of my patients here in the booth to ensure that treatment, for example, this patient's treatment is Hear Builder, yields results. Now look at that smiling face. My husband and I are excited to help children with auditory processing disorders and hearing loss in the Houston area by bringing our vision for neuroaudiology to life. My name is EmilyAnn Duffley, and this practice brings together my loves for hearing healthcare, technology, and education. My interest in audiology began when I was a freshman at the University of Illinois studying vocal performance and engineering. During this time, I joined the binaural hearing lab, which brought together my two majors perfectly by letting me study cochlear implant pitch perception. During this time, I discovered a love for helping patients hear better and knowing how to program their technology to make their daily lives better. These wonderful experiences at the University of Illinois led me to pursue my doctorate of audiology at Northwestern. While at Northwestern, I had an internship with the Dr. Ferry, who is the co-author of the Bellis-Ferry model of auditory processing disorders. Dr. Ferry taught me how to utilize her research-based diagnosis model, advocate for patients' needs to school boards, and just run a patient-centered practice. Now, I am in my externship year at Child's Voice, and we have a lot of fun there. Here's a picture of us having a little dance party. Child's Voice is a full-service audiology clinic attached to a school for children adjusting to life with hearing aids and cochlear implants. At Child's Voice, I am becoming an expert in IEP and 504 plans, as well as how to program devices to function optimally in classroom settings. And the other half of my practice is my husband, Jack. Jack will be running the legal, insurance, and financial aspects of the practice. His experience working as an attorney will help us in advocating for reimbursement for the services that our patients receive at the practice. And speaking of services, I will offer central auditory processing, diagnostics and training, hearing loss diagnostics and treatment, and musician services. My practice will serve pediatric clients. I absolutely love working with kids because it gives me the opportunity every day to be creative and to make audiology fun for every child. Neuroaudiology will be located in Bel Air, Texas. And you'll see it's right up there on the map just outside of Houston. A great thing about my practice location is that it is a 10-minute easy drive from the Texas Children's Hospital. Currently, the Texas Children's Hospital does not offer any CAPD services, and I'm hoping that they could be a great referral source for my practice. Neuroaudiology will be housed within this beautiful Beechnut Medical Plaza. It is a Class A medical facility currently under construction. Another reason that Houston is the ideal location for my practice is because it is home to the Houston Independent School District. And I know you're wondering, why is she so excited about a school district? Well, this is one of the few in the nation that offers CAPD screenings to students ages 8 and up. However, if a student fails the screening, there are very limited options of places for them to receive diagnostic or training services. My practice is going to fill that void within the Houston market. I will also be reaching out to parents and educators directly by leading a mini lecture series on the signs of central auditory processing disorders. Through these lectures, I hope to empower the community to recognize the signs of CAPD within their own children so that they know when to bring them in for an evaluation. The last branch of my marketing plan is search engine optimization. When you Google something along the lines of Audiology Houston, neuroaudiology will be the first to populate. And when you click on us, you will be taken to a beautiful website featuring a welcome video, office tour, price transparency, list of services, and an informative blog about all of my patients' wonderful experiences. Now, there is some competition in the market of Houston. First, we're going to talk about Alyssa Audiology, because they are the only practice that when you Google them, they come up for central auditory processing disorders in the Houston area. So, while Alyssa Audiology does offer similar services to me, the bread and butter of their practice appears to be hearing aid services for adults. And my practice will be completely focused on children and helping them hear better in the classroom. Also, it is 30 minutes away from my chosen practice location, so I think there's room enough for both of us within Houston. The major competitor in the pediatric market is the Texas Hearing Institute, because they offer everything a child could need if they have hearing loss. However, they have no central auditory processing disorder services. Now, the major competition is the University of Texas Medical Center in Galveston, Texas, because they specialize in pediatric CAPD, just like me. However, Galveston is an hour and 15 minutes away from Houston, and a tough commute because there is no public transit between the two cities. I'm hoping that my practice will be the more convenient of the two options. Here are my financial projections. This model assumes that my practice will operate at 75% capacity for the first year in business, and then 100% capacity for every year after that. I will be seeing patients for 32 hours a week, 50 weeks a year. And my practice will open in 2025, a few years after I graduate with my AUD in 2022. My practice is funded by a $250,000 friends and family loan that accrues 5% interest every year and must be paid back within 5 years. On this graph, it's designated by the red line on the bottom there. The blue line, second from the bottom, is my expenses line. You'll notice that there is a spike in expenses when I open the practice in 2025 and a pay for all of my equipment, a drop in expenses in 2026 when I'm practicing solo with all of my new equipment in place, and then a rise back up in expenses in 2027. That extra rise is because that's when I hire a second AUD to help me expand the practice. They'll be making a yearly salary of $80,000. But with that spike in expenses comes an even bigger spike in my profit and gross revenue. I expect my practice to be grossing $500,000 a year by 2027. Here are the startup costs of my practice, and you'll notice that the majority of the money goes towards reserves and first year's rent. If anything goes wrong, we have reserves to help us out. My pricing structure. My prices were calculated by finding my break-even rate and adding a 30% profit margin on top of that, bringing me to an hourly rate of $155. Thank you for taking the time to learn about something near and dear to my heart, neuroaudiology, examining how your ears and brain process sound and finding ways to help improve your communication outcomes. Thank you. No.
How about now? There we go. Thank you, EmilyAnn Duffley.
Of course.
Let's turn it over to our judges.
Nice. All right, good morning, Emily. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Great presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
So my first question for you is, it's inevitable that things will not go as planned, whether it's your first year, second year, 5th year, or 10th year, okay? There's such things as hurricanes, especially in Texas, and something called COVID-19 that kind of sort of happened and hasn't gone away, right?
Uh-huh.
So my question to you is, if you don't make the money that you think you're going to make, what are you going to do?
Well, if I don't make the money I think I'm going to make, that means that there is a breakdown somewhere within my marketing plan, because I know that I am capable of offering excellent services to patients. And if the patients aren't coming, that's because I'm not reaching them. So I will modify my marketing plan to better reach the people of Houston so that they are more aware that I'm here to help. Because I know that in Chicago, there are offices full of patients for CAP-D, but in Houston, there's hardly any offices available. And it's not like there's something in the water in Chicago that's causing the CAP-D. I know that there's kids who need this help there in Houston too. So I will modify my marketing plan and try a new approach to finding the patients who need me.
Terrific. Hi, EmilyAnn.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. That was a great presentation.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I just want to know, you're from Illinois, right? That's kind of where you live. So
Yeah.
you're making a big trip across the country to a whole new city. Why wouldn't you just start your practice close to home?
That's a great question. And while I love Chicago, the market for central auditory processing disorders there, it's full. We have both Sarah Thomas, speech and hearing, offering CAP-D services, and Dr. Ferry herself, who is seeing patients well every single day. And I know that I have a unique set of talents from my training, and I'm excited to bring that to a city where they need me most. And I think that based on the market in Houston, that's the ideal location for me. And I'm also married to a real estate investor, and Jack is very excited about the opportunity to move to Houston as well, because there's a lot of opportunities for real estate there.
Great. Thank you very much. I think we'll open up to an audience question. Anybody has a question for EmilyAnn? Looks like you might be off the hook here. You got a question? Okay. Almost done, EmilyAnn. Almost done.
Okay.
Hi, EmilyAnn.
Hi.
So my question is, the school districts in Houston likely already know and have relationships with those other audiology offices in the area. So what is your plan to get them to connect with you rather than those other audiology offices and their own educational audiologists who are already providing services to these patients?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. So currently at Child's Voice, I work directly with the school districts in the area all the time in writing IEP and 504 plans and advocating for the patient's needs. And we also go into the classrooms to see how the alumni of our program are doing and give little tips and tricks to the teachers on how to best serve the students. And I hope to bring those same types of services with me. I want to be that doctor who's going out of her way every day to make sure my students are hearing. I'll be there in the classroom educating teachers. I'll be partnering with the educational audiologists because I know that their loads are always so full. So I'll be there as a resource for everyone and making sure that my students are succeeding on a daily basis. Oh,
Hi, EmilyAnn. Great job with the presentation.
thank you.
So you talked about a friends and family loan.
Yes.
So kind of two questions here. First one being, do you already have family and friends that have approached you or you've approached them that have said, yes, we have capital that we would love to invest in this idea? Maybe it's already just theoretical at this point, but first, that's my first question.
Yes, I actually do. I'm very fortunate in that I have a grandmother who came over from Ireland with her mom when she was 5 years old, and she got herself through nursing school and raised 3 kids on her own and became a real estate investor in the process. And her dream has always to have someone in the family go into healthcare. And I'm the first one to take her up on that opportunity, and she's very enthusiastic about supporting me in this endeavor.
That's wonderful. My second question being, your loan repayment to your friends and family, is that being done monthly, quarterly, or yearly? And if you haven't met the margins to repay those loans, what is your plan?
So if we haven't written out a contract as to the terms of repaying the loan monthly, quarterly, or yearly. So that's a detail that would be figured out at a later date. And the second part of the question was, sorry.
The second part of the question was, I saw that you had reserves, which I think is a great
reserves.
buffer zone, but I think reserves would cover you through like year 1 or 2. If that loan repayment, if the revenue coming in wasn't enough to cover the loan repayment, what plan would you do to negotiate with family or friends, or would you take a personal cut of salary, or maybe postpone hiring that second AUD? I'm just
Thank
curious
you.
what the plans are.
Yeah, that's a great question too. So I know I have a big opportunity, and I would be sure to not go extend it past what has been given. I would likely go into my personal finances and pull from that to repay the loan. My husband and I are also investing in real estate now, so that is something that I think we could handle. And additionally, if the practice wasn't growing as I expected it to, I wouldn't expand it based on this plan. That, like expanding with the extra audiologist, that would be delayed until I was reaching the financial goals I've set for myself. All right.
Great, wonderful. Thank you, EmilyAnn. Great
Thank
job.
you. Thank you so much.
A big hand for EmilyAnn Duffley. Now let's bring out our second contestant. Jill Greenberg, representing, again, Northwestern University with Green Ear Audiology. All right, hello everyone. When you ask the average person to tell you about the ear, they're going to talk about the floppy thing on the side of their head. When you ask a primary care physician, you'll get some more information, acknowledgement of an ear canal, a middle ear space, which is apparently far too often filled with fluid. When you ask an audiologist, you'll start to hear about the cochlea, but we're missing something: semicircular canals. Semicircular canals are the key to answering the needs of 10 million patients per year who are going to their primary care physicians for concerns of vertigo, imbalance, dizziness. And they're also the key to how we as a profession can differentiate ourselves from people who work with hearing aids to doctors of audiology. In addition to the 10 million patients in need of services, we have 25% of adults age 65 and above who are at great risk of fall just from age alone. And fall-related injuries are the leading cause of injury-related death with seniors. While most physical therapy practice do rehabilitate vestibular disorders, many of them don't have the equipment or the personnel required to diagnose vestibular disorders or to prove success during those interventions. So there's a need for an interdisciplinary partnership between audiologists who diagnose and vestibular or physical therapists who can intervene. 13.3% of physical therapy patients are geriatric, seeking fall risk prevention caused by age alone, but all patients who seek vestibular intervention and therapy should also be getting vestibular testing, neurodiagnostic testing by an audiologist, as well as a hearing test, because we know vestibular problems, hearing problems often coincide, especially within our target population of adults age 55 and above. That's the age where these problems tend to arise. So there is an overwhelming lack of understanding of audiologic testing pertaining to balance, stemming from an education dilemma.
Physical therapists are not all aware of the benefit of audiologic testing to inform their interventions. Primary care physicians are not aware of what testing needs to be ordered and when, and patients aren't aware that these services exist, and they don't currently feel empowered to go seek those services. So we have Green Ear Audiology. Green Ear Audiology accepts the charge of bringing audiologic services to physical therapy spaces where our patients are located. We will streamline the flow of care, better inform physical therapists in their intervention, and expand the outreach of audiology. Green Ear's operations focus on these central statements. Our mission statement: Green Ear Audiology is a company dedicated to bringing audiologists and related services to every physical therapy practice and educating on the importance of audiology and physical therapy interventions to communities nationwide. We also have our vision and our value. We offer ease and expertise to patients and caregivers seeking skilled, convenient, and reliable audiologic services. So here's how we'll make it happen. We will locate physical therapy practices that are physically large enough to accommodate our equipment and who are seeing enough patients to support audiologic services. We will then build a marketing plan that we are going to give to community members, primary care physicians, physical therapists to make them aware of our services. We will purchase only the equipment needed to start up. We will send a Green Ear audiologist to that location. We will start seeing patients. We will purchase additional equipment as supported by patient growth. Then we'll find additional physical therapists and do it all over again. In describing Green Ear, I have to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of referring physicians. We know in audiology, there's not much we can do without them, because in order to be reimbursed by insurance, we need a physician referral referencing the test that is ordered by name. We must make primary care physicians aware of the tests we have, and they have to know when it's appropriate to order them. So we'll accomplish that through personal education, through lunch and learn opportunities. So we'll begin in my hometown of Stamford, Connecticut. 26.8% of Stamford's population is over the age of 55. We've identified that as our target. And Stamford's population is health and wellness motivated, and that's proven by the multitude of medical offices that are in the area. And I have the connections required to make leading seminars, reaching patients and reaching physicians possible. If I put together presentations, I can go to the hospital and present them and reach the people that we would need to distribute this information and make it happen. But why would a physical therapy office trust Green Ear instead of, say, hiring their own audiologist? And to answer that, I want to think about business acquisitions. It's much more financially responsible and easier to acquire a company, partner with a company already active and experts in a space, than to try to build knowledge and expertise from the ground up. So that is the value that we'll be adding. Green Ear will be collecting revenue from the services that we're providing. Physical therapists will benefit from the data from the intervention or data from vestibular testing that will better inform their intervention. And they'll also benefit from increased foot traffic. They'll become a clinic of care because they're going to be providing better services. So here are the packages we have to offer. We have vestibular, hearing testing and aid dispensing in full, and the order in which we progress through these packages, what we bring to each physical therapy practice, is going to depend on physical space, amount of patients they have. But buying all of that equipment can be quite expensive. So we're going to use a phased approach in which we start with the bare bones equipment necessary to get started, start seeing patients. And then we're going to add additional equipment as supported by patient growth to make sure that we're not purchasing equipment we cannot yet afford to pay off. So in finding costs to make this happen, I want to orient you to this chart. On the left, we have the prices I was originally quoted by people selling equipment. On the right, we have the phased approach that I've built. And the right has to do with modules, in that when I'm moving from step 1 to step 2, I'm not buying a whole new piece of equipment. I'm buying accessories that go with that equipment. And that's apparent in our other packages. I'll skip to the full because that gives you the whole rundown. And something to note is that in each of these 3 packages, there's a $20,000 difference between what I was originally quoted and what I found by digging for equipment that would actually be a better, more economically friendly way to do this. And $20,000 is pretty important, especially for a business when you're just getting started. We can't afford to lose that. And here are the billing codes that we have access to by providing the services through those packages. The vestibular codes, the hearing diagnostic, those can be reimbursed through insurance, and Medicare and hearing aid services we would expect to be private pay. So I developed scenarios that outline the services a green ear audiologist can expect to perform down the road per year when patient growth has supported buying enough equipment for the entire package. That chart that I'm scrolling through, it has 2 different parts. The top shows my UCR. The bottom shows Medicare's rates for the state of Connecticut. And so what we have on the bottom there is the range that we can expect. If you're only accepting UCR, if you're only accepting Medicare, that's the range where we would fall per package. And I can't predict how many patients would be paying per what medium, so that's why we have this range developed. So yesterday, we spoke about practicing as doctors, and I believe this is it. Vestibular work is how we can practice at the top of our license and differentiate ourselves and become true doctors of audiology. And the patients are there, we need to be there for them. I've been really excited to develop this plan. It's been an opportunity for me to combine my educational background, both in business and in audiology. Thank you, judges, for inviting me to present and for giving me the opportunity to put my future on paper. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Now let's see what questions the judges have for you.
Hi, Jill. Great job.
Thank you.
I think you did a wonderful business plan and a good presentation, good poster presentation, and great job just now. So it is inevitable that things are not going to work out just as planned. You have a lot of equipment, you have a lot of expense, and sometimes the patients just don't come through the door. So how do you pivot if you're not making the money that you expect that you're going to be able to make?
So it depends on why we're not making the money, which of those scenarios is causing that reason. My first thought is if patients aren't coming in, that means we're not reaching them. So we have to amp up our marketing endeavors. And like I said, the plan is to hold seminars with the Stanford Hospital. Stanford Hospital is trusted. It's a big, big thing within the Stanford community. So if they're putting on a seminar, patients will be interested, patients will show up. But then, of course, if the PCPs aren't making those referrals, I'm hoping that the patients will go and educate the PCPs if my lunch and learns alone are not enough. Because patients more and more are taking control over their own health care. They want to have a say. They want to be educated and present possible solutions for the problems that they're experiencing. So I want to say my assumption is if patients aren't coming through the door, it's because they don't yet know our services exist, and we have to let them know.
Very good.
Nicely done. Hi, Jill.
Hello.
How's it going?
Going well now.
That's great. You're almost done. Almost done. So you've gone through several iterations of your business plan, as everyone else has too. And originally, I think you had the PT companies or the PTs themselves investing, right, in a package. Like you had them purchasing that. Why did you change your plan to, take on that?
Yes.
That initial payment
So
yourself.
the original plan was that I would put together these packages, go to physical therapists and say, hey, give me $200,000, let's get this going. And that just didn't become feasible. It would be a pretty big argument to say, give me all of this money. If you flip the conversation and say, I've got the money, I can do it, I'll bring you the services, it all becomes much easier. And the other day we were talking about different packages. So there are 3 different options. The hope is that each location would want to have or would have room for the full package because that is what is going to bring the most services to patients. But it depends on how much room is physically available to us within that physical therapy practice. But the reason that we're starting within physical therapy practices and not with my own, like I will hire physical therapists, I will make this happen on my own, is because I need that referral source and I need to make my brand known. And we can do that by partnering with physical therapists. I'm owning the business, it's all on me. And then once we're recognized and trusted, we can have our standalone businesses, and down the road, we can hire our own physical therapists and be in charge of the whole process.
Well done. All right, I think we're gonna have at least time for one question.
Hi, Jill.
Hello.
That was really well done. You obviously have a heartfelt purpose, and it's unique. I think your model is unique. You spent a lot of time on your financials, obviously. My question is have you researched the broader market on this model of partnering with physical therapists for the purpose that you've identified that you'd like to address, which is very valid? Do you know that this model will work?
Do I know that it will work for sure? I don't think I can answer that because to my knowledge, it's not exactly being done yet. I do have friends of mine from college who are currently in physical therapy programs for their graduate degrees. We have calls together pretty often where we talk about the vestibular system, kind of compare what does my friend know, what do I know. So we know that the interplay between physical therapy and audiology does exist. I've been to a couple physical therapy gyms. For the most part, they are pretty large. They have a lot of space available. Physically putting audiology equipment in the corner shouldn't be too much of an ask. And we can share a lot of equipment too, like beds and goggles. That's equipment we're both going to be using if they allow us to. So I think in terms of bringing our services to them, that could absolutely work. In terms of like, will it actually work? Are physical therapists like actively seeking audiologists? I think the answer to that, they're not currently actively seeking, but there are organizations trying to make them aware, and that's my job to show them why they need to be actively seeking and why they need to be seeking Green Ear and not just any audiologist.
All right, thank you, Jill. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, we are halfway through with two more fantastic contestants still to meet. Next up is Miranda McDonnell, representing Northwestern University. Is anyone starting to see a pattern here? That's right, folks. 3 of the 4 finalists this year hail from Northwestern University. An amazing turnout of talent from Northwestern this year. This is Miranda's second time on the ADA Business Plan competition. You may remember that she came in second last year, which was very impressive for a second-year student. Please welcome her now to deliver her presentation outlining the proposed business plan for sound vibrations.
Thank you. So my company is Sound Vibrations, where it's more than just hearing to us. So my company is founded on 4 key values: improving communication, accessibility to audiologic care, community and fiscal health, and inspiring innovation within the field of audiology. So improving communication is probably why many of you got into the field of audiology. For me, I was raised that the value of communication is our greatest gift. My mom's a speech language pathologist, and she worked with an audiologist for many years, and I got to shadow him when I was in high school, and Dr. Sappis told me something that I will never forget, and that is it takes both. It takes both the speech and the hearing aspect in order to improve communication outcomes. You need the speech therapy outlook and perspective to really meet those goals of your patients. Now, our service will provide holistic audiological care for adults and children across the lifespan. For the following services, we really want to meet the needs of our community. My mom and her business partner, Cara Ferreira, started the Gift of Speech over 16 years ago, and they service both children and adults for the following services. And they have found that they make on average 10 referrals a month for audiological services that aren't being met inside the community I want to serve. Now together, we want to do the speech and audiology things that work best together. So that auditory processing disorder treatment, we want to work on a team, and also for oral rehabilitation and habilitation of children. We also want to sit on a differential diagnostic team with other professionals in our area. to really provide that early diagnosis to children exiting early intervention services. Now, when it comes to accessibility, the first thing is where we're located. We would be in Northern California, and specifically in Stockton, California, that sits in the heart of the San Joaquin Valley. Stockton has, on average, in a 30-mile radius, a population of over 800,000 people. And the closest audiological services that are similar to the ones we would provide are 80 miles north in Sacramento and 80 miles west in San Francisco. So we want to fill the need within this community. We would want to be located in the same building that my mom's practice already sits in. So that's the Fountains, and if everything goes as planned, we want to have that suite right next door in order to provide those services together. Now, we also want to have accessible availability. So we want to have this staggered schedule where we're open early, open late, and open on Saturdays in order to meet the needs of the community. Stockton is a place you go to raise kids, and kids can't always make it to that 9 to 5 appointments due to sports, school, and also it's a place where you're commuting into Sacramento, into San Francisco for work, and you're not going to make it home until 5 p.m. if you're lucky. So we'll be closed in the middle of the day in order to service our patients when they are available. When it comes to insurances, we want to be there for all people in our community. So we want to be in network with providers that our local employers use. Anthem Blue Cross, Blue Shield of California, Hills Physicians. We also want to service Kaiser Permanente's overflow patients. They have audiologists in our neighborhood, but they're not doing APD treatment. So we want to see those children and adults that need that treatment. We also want to be a Medi-Cal provider. Stockton is a socioeconomic diverse population, and I think it's important that we service the people in our community, no matter where they stand socioeconomically, and of course, Medicare. Now, we also want to provide access to sound. So we'll dispense technology that best serves our patients, accessory technology, hearing aids. We're also going to meet people where they are in their hearing healthcare journey. So this isn't a 1, 2, 3 in this order. This is wherever you come into us, we're going to provide these services for you. Verify and validate whatever devices you have, and provide oral rehabilitation and habilitation that provides those better communication outcomes. Now, when it comes to community health, I want to first talk about this camaraderie over competition aspect. And I want to draw an analogy to my college swim team. My senior year of college, I had the opportunity to be captain, and me and the coach saw an opportunity to win conference championship that year. But we had 24 girls, and 24 girls have all individual goals to better their times, very individual sport in its form. So we had to get those individual goals and see what mattered to those individuals. And the same way, you have to see what your referral sources' goals are. What are they trying to do for their patients, for their business? So I want to find out what their goals are, and then I want to take those goals and align them with a common goal, like winning a conference championship. I want to make sure that we align the goals into improving communication. And the way in which I would do this is by communicating my vision and values. So being able to show people why I want to do this and what it is that I want to do in the community, educate about my services. And then I think it's really important to demonstrate the relationship with the gift of speech. They've been in business for 16 years. They're a known name in the community. Now, with referral sources, this is how I would do those goals. I would first demonstrate that relationship by providing those referral sources, our family biscotti bags. My mom gives these to her clients every Christmas. And when I was in high school, I was the one delivering those cookies. And I know how much those referral sources look forward to that and how much they tie the gift of speech to that. So that in and of itself will demonstrate the relationship. But I'm going to also provide them with logoed marketing material and information about those services to give them an idea of what we're hoping to do in the community. To the public, we'll have digital marketing, paper advertisements, and then what I really find important is building the relationship with the patient, having those touch points that make sure that you're showing them that they're now part of your family. So I'm going to continue to build that connection. When it comes to community health, I think COVID-19 has taught us a lot. So I want to have a patient protection plan in place to service the community needs as they arise, World Health, whatever it may be. This is in response to COVID-19, but I could see this changing to whatever may come up. Now, I believe fiscal health and community health go hand in hand. If your business isn't successful, it's not going to be around for very long. And I want to be sure my cup is full so I could continue to service my patients. So that comes to our legal structure, how we're set up. So this is our setup. I would be president and treasurer. My mom would be a shareholder. She has the experience, and who better to tell you how it is than your mom? Now, when it comes to scheduling, I want to get to know my patient while I'm scheduling. I want to only schedule them for the services that they need, and I want to inform them of expectations before they come in. And I want to send out those questionnaires so I have that information when they arrive. Now, I know this isn't going to happen for every patient, but for those that it does, it reduces those gaps in scheduling and increases patient satisfaction, which leads to better fiscal health and therefore better community health. When it comes to pricing, I would be unbundled, and I would charge based on my usual and customary. That's a function of what's shown above. And for each service I provide, I've found out what that length will be so that I'll be able to charge for my, based on the time and the cost I see overhead. Now, I ran those numbers and I found that in that first year, I would expect a profit and ability to build this profit as I go forward each year. Now, I want to take the profit within the 3 years and put it right back into the business. This side of innovation, this is where I see the company in 3 to 10 years right now. But I know I'm going to need to adapt this as our world changes, new technology, whatever may come up, and find a way that I could best serve my community. But right now, this is the needs I see within Stockton and the needs I want to serve in order to improve communication. But I want to continually lend an ear to my patients and hear what their needs are and adapt this as we go. And that's what I believe innovation is. And thank you.
Thank you, Miranda. Now let's turn it over to the judges.
Hi, Miranda.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good presentation and a great business plan. We have a similar question for each of the contestants to start, and that is, we all know that things are not going to go entirely as planned, right?
Yeah.
So many things can come up when we least expect it. So what are you going to do if you don't reach your milestones as planned, particularly your revenue milestones?
Yeah, so I've thought about having that reserve and having backup, because I know as things come up, that's not that I can't necessarily know. We don't know what's going to happen in the next year. So having some of that startup costs is what I would have on reserve to help me get through those things that might lead to not making a profit within those first 3 years.
Thank you.
Hi, Miranda. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, as the owner of multiple speech and hearing clinics, I, like most audiologists here, fully understand the importance of the collaboration between speech-language pathologists and audiologists. Aside from the collaborative approach, how does this help with your revenue and profit margins?
I think it's the referral sources from day one. So having those referrals in place to get me started is going to help. And then being able to refer back and forth. There are things that are important for us to know to guide patient outcomes that a speech-language pathologist can bill for And then there's also the reasons why they would refer to us in order for services we can. So that whole, I'm accepting insurances, and in that, you need to be able to bill for those services. So I want to be able to bill for what I provide and have those referrals in place.
Thank you. All right, let's open it up to the audience.
Thank you.
Don't let her off that easy, guys.
That's okay.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I was looking at your poster yesterday and I noticed that you have $30,000 allocated for equipment. Is that correct?
I don't think that was my poster. I didn't put anything.
That was not your poster.
No,
Okay.
I didn't put any.
Wrong poster then.
But if I'm remembering correctly, I put around 60,000 for equipment.
Okay, and what was your marketing budget?
Oh goodness, 15% is what I was going to put towards marketing. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes?
Now, I think yesterday, hi, congratulations by the way.
Hello,
I
thank
think
you.
yesterday I asked you about your flexible hours, since so many kids would be needing extra time to get to their appointments, not at the normal 9 to 5. But at the beginning, it looked like you're mostly doing all of the work. Like there's no front staff in the first year and no other audiologists or anything like that, if I'm remembering correctly. So how do you plan on managing your time coming in for those long hours and then on Saturdays as well?
Good question. So it would just be me, but I worked front staff for my mom for all of high school, so she's part of what we've talked about is she would provide that front staff for the first 3 years. Of course, when you work for your family, you don't get paid. So that was kind of that support that I've been helping her, and she wants to be able to help me now. So that would be the front desk for the first 3 years in place. And then after that, I would want to hire a front desk once I am able to afford it. But that's why we'd also be closed in the middle of the day in order to have time for me and things I need to do. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Miranda.
Thank you.
Let's give Miranda a strong round of applause. And now, without further ado, our last two contestants, a team representing the University of North Carolina. Ryan Sprouse and Alyssa Fischer with their business plan for Palmetto Ear and Hearing.
Hi, my name is Ryan Sprouse.
And my name's Alyssa Fischer.
Our practice is named Palmetto Ear and Hearing.
For both of us, our families are the ones who connected us to this wonderful world of audiology. With parents and a sibling in the field, we've grown up recognizing the strong role that audiology plays in connecting individuals with hearing loss to their loved ones. Palmetto Ear and Hearing is a concierge adult hearing healthcare clinic located in Hilton Head, South Carolina. Our goal is to provide accessible and affordable services to anyone from long-term residents to short-term visitors.
We'd now like to discuss in detail what attracted us to Hilton Head. When creating the target market for our practice, we identified the importance of serving an area containing a large adult population with a growing economy. We also feel strongly about joining a firm community and establishing Palmetto Ear and Hearing as a visible entity within that community.
Our SWOT analysis has identified a lack of accessibility and services to Hilton Head. While Hilton Head has a large population of senior residents and seasonal visitors, we will be utilizing modern ways to reach patients both near and far. We believe Hilton Head offers a lot of strengths and opportunities for us.
Here we have included some additional facts about the Hilton Head population. These statistics accord well with our previously mentioned target market.
As a family company, we will be treating each and every patient like family. Our branding is designed to create a professional yet welcoming environment for our business.
Our clinic floor plan allows for 1 diagnostics room, 1 hearing aid fitting room, and 1 hybrid room. In our reception area, we will display our hearing aid and assistive listening technology and allow patients to sample how our technology works. We feel this will aid in easing any uncertainties patients may have about operating hearing technology.
Our name and logo is straightforward and highlights the area in which we are located in. Palmetto for the Palmetto State, South Carolina, and the palm tree is representative of the area as well.
Our theme is consistent throughout our logo, envelopes, letterhead, invoices and receipts, and also our business cards.
We have a cohesive look that will appear on all of our materials. For any newly established business, creating awareness within the community and with the practice's target market is a challenge. To combat this, we have concluded that our marketing process will begin before day 1 of operations.
During our marketing campaign, we will target physicians' offices, local golf courses, and community centers. As we aspire to create an efficient referral system for our patients, Palmetto Ear and Hearing will prioritize creating and maintaining strong relationships with physicians. We've identified a number of primary care physicians, otolaryngologists, and neurologists, which we aim to include in our referral system.
We will also be utilizing free social media platforms such as Facebook to promote our business.
We've also included low-cost items such as stickers, coffee mugs, and t-shirts in our marketing campaign. The purpose of these items is to increase awareness of our practice, as our logo is included on each item. We intend to make stickers and mugs available for patient distribution, while our staff will wear and distribute company t-shirts to friends and family.
We will also be sending birthday cards to all patients 60 years old and older. We believe maintaining meaningful relationships with our patients and their families is of utmost importance to us, and this small and expensive gesture will aid in demonstrating our concern for our patients beyond the walls of our practice.
We've discussed what attracted us to Hilton Head, as well as how we aim to connect with the community. We'd now like to take you inside and discuss our clinic operations. Palmetto Ear and Hearing will be owned by 2 fully licensed ABA board-certified audiologists. We will employ 1 office manager whose responsibilities include coordinating schedules, handling mail and packages, processing invoices and receipts, and promoting a welcoming environment to all who enter our clinic. Our audiologist assistant will be responsible for handling walk-in hearing aid troubleshootings, small in-office hearing aid repairs, and performing hearing screenings at community events. The assistant will also provide support in hearing aid fitting appointments by demonstrating to patients the use, care, and maintenance of their hearing aids, while our audiologists are performing and interpreting hearing aid verification and additional programming.
Our services are personalized to the individual and their unique needs. We'll take the time to learn about our patients' lifestyles to best recommend the solutions for their needs. We are also including cognitive screenings as part of our functional needs assessment. As the relationship between cognition and hearing loss is further explored, we see the value in incorporating this into our treatment plans. With use of telecommunications, teleaudiology for programming, for consultations, for oral rehab, as well as our online store, we're able to reach patients both near and far. We also believe that patients should only pay for the services in which they use. The price transparency of our unbundled and itemized model will assist in building trust with our patients, as well as allow patients to compare our offerings with others. We know that direct-to-consumer products will be changing the landscape of audiology, and as a practice of the future, we'll be positioning ourselves to best serve all with hearing needs.
We'd now like to discuss the financials of our practice, including our budget and projected revenue.
This is a snapshot of our capital expenses. We just wanted to highlight that we were thrifty when purchasing our used, but also our gently used but quality equipment. That includes our hearing aid verification equipment and our diagnostic equipment.
In this unbundled business model, we've calculated all of our fixed costs for the first year. We then divided our fixed costs by the number of patient contact hours at full clinic capacity to determine our hourly rate of operations. Because we aspire to bring in profit, we've also calculated a for-profit hourly rate to ensure we are achieving our projected financial growth.
This is a brief look at our services and fees. This is an overview of our first year of operations, with our first month showing an influx in anticipated funding that we have infused into our business. The cost of our services were estimated based on our for-profit hourly rate, and it was conservatively estimated how many patients will visit our practice in our first month of operations. It was then estimated that our patient volume will increase by 4% in months 2 through 4, 6.5% in months 5 through 8, and 8% in months 9 through 12.
This is our profit and loss for the first year of operations, organized by month. We understand that many businesses who fail have not adequately planned for cash needs for the initial startup of operations. Because of this, we have built infused funding into our business to ensure we have a safe, positive cash flow each month. We project to break even by month 3 with steady growth thereafter, ending the first year with profit.
We aim to see steady growth in our first 5 years of business. As discussed previously, we have about $112,000 of anticipated funding in our first year. A goal for our second year is to upgrade our cognitive screening tool. We've identified CogniView as an effective and user-friendly screening tool. With an estimated growth of about 4%, we'll see a net income of approximately $28,000 in year 5.
We appreciated the opportunity this morning to share our vision of providing accessible and high-quality hearing care to the Hilton Head Island community.
Thank you for listening to our business proposal for Hilton Head, or for Palmetto Ear and Hearing.
Thank you, Alyssa and Ryan. Now let's turn it over to the judges to see what questions they have for you.
Hey guys, how's it going? Last time, right? Okay, so it's inevitable that things probably won't go as easy or vanilla as, what we see on the screen, right? There might be a time where your bars become more like roller coasters, to say the least. And I know a lot of people in here understand where I'm coming from with this. So my question to you is, if you don't hit the numbers, if you don't reach the revenue goals, what are you going to do to continue to help your business to thrive, and so you pretty much can succeed as a company?
That's a good question. Thank you for asking. Number one of the things we've built into our budget, is scaled increases in our salaries of our 2 owners. If we're not quite meeting our numbers as we've anticipated, those scaled increases will just have to wait. Also, we've mentioned adding CogniView and implementing that into our practice in year 2. And we understand that's a big investment, and that may be something we have to consider holding off on as well.
And we also want to take a look at why we're not reaching our goals. Are our patients not satisfied with our services? Are we not doing enough marketing? Things like that.
Hi guys, congratulations.
Thank you.
I just want to say I do really appreciate that the comprehensive and thorough 46-page business plan that you turned in. I think you really
Sorry about
had accounted for everything, and so I had to think long and hard about what question I wanted to ask you because you had covered so much in your business plan. You mentioned that you're starting with staff and that you're going to start right out of the gate with front office staff and with an audiology assistant. Those first couple of years are really critical, so how are you going to look for the right people? What traits are you going to look for so that they can actually ensure your success as you get off the ground?
That's a great question, and thank you for asking. The number one thing, we want people who are going to work well with others. We want people who are going to listen, who are going to want to weigh what our patients are reporting and actually listen that and process that as well. We also want people who are comfortable working well with a team, who have experience working with a team, and particularly with our office manager. We certainly want someone who has the experience of running a busy and demanding office and as well organized.
We actually looked at Ryan's mom to be our possible office manager because she has experience working in a practice as the office manager, right?
We had to break the news to her that we're not doing that.
Great. I think we have time for one audience question.
Hello. What made you choose an unbundled approach versus offering bundled services to patients or offering both options?
Well, the number one motivation for that is price transparency. We want patients to know what they're paying for, and we don't want patients to have to include it in the price of their hearing aids, let's say, services that they've yet to render and services that they may not render.
Mm-hmm. We also do have a concierge option for patients who don't want to worry about paying every time that they come into our clinic. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Alyssa and Ryan. Great job. All right, judges, I don't know how you're going to do it, but we're going to excuse you guys to do some deliberation. We got 5 minutes for you. No pressure.
Yeah.
Glenn? Yeah, Glenn's the entertainment. Yeah, why don't you head on up there?
I can potentially just take a regular microphone, unless this one's... Okay, it's on. Okay, so for those who don't know me or I haven't met you yet, my name is Glenn. I'm the current SATA president. And thank you. So to all of, the students, I know this has been kind of a really fun experience, I think, for me personally. And, I hope that you've all had a wonderful conference as well. And, you have one, if not many, take-home messages for improving both patient care in our clinics and our externships. So throughout this conference, the overarching theme has been to practice at the top of our scope and to always strive to be better for our patients and ourselves. Whether it be OTC, diversity and inclusion, we should always strive to improve. To that end, I would strongly encourage all students to get involved in organizations. SATA has board positions open that we'd be willing to fill you in on, myself or Kate as well. And all students should have my email from the beginning. And we also have committee positions that are available that you can always, run for, again, asking any information about. And if you've graduated and can't run for SATA, so any of the practicing audiologists here, I would also encourage all professors and preceptors to recommend that their students apply for board positions and get involved to help the profession. So thank you, and I hope that you all enjoy the rest of this final day at this wonderful conference.
It's just you. Jason prepared some dad jokes for you.
And to spare you from my terrible dad jokes, I just want to say thank you, Glenn. By show of hands, how many preceptors are in here? How many of you have asked your students to get involved with moving forward with our profession? Awesome. So be sure to try to encourage that. I think it's so important to our profession and our future is to have as many people involved as we can. So, dad joke number one. Why in Norway do military ships have barcodes on them? Because when they return, they can Scandinavian. I want to do a reminder also. Today is the last day you can invest in our future and get your bottle of bourbon. So the membership meeting today for lunch, be sure to come and bring your checkbook. Historically, there's more reasons to invest. So be there and be ready to spend some money. Anybody else want to have a dad joke? You can bring credit card too. They are not going to discriminate on money. Yes. Also, when does a dad joke become a dad joke? When it becomes apparent. I'm done. Sorry.
All right, so what's your favorite thing that you have learned so far in the past 2 to 3 days that you've been here? Anybody? Someone have something that's profound that you're going to take home with you that you're super excited that you learned? Nothing? A good dad joke. I did find that having a book of jokes in the waiting room really helps people to chuckle, and they're excited about the fact that we're not helping them yet. So I highly recommend that you get those. We had a patient who had dementia, and he kept repeating the same jokes over and over again, just for fun. I bought some joke books, and it went over really well.
I got one. So Dr. Giorgio, Arkel Giorgio, who's a chief health officer at Starkey, had mentioned some statistics about hospitalization, patients who are hospitalized with COVID-19, and the significant percentage of those patients who actually have hearing and tinnitus and even balance issues. So something I thought about and talked to a couple of colleagues about was maybe doing some letters, sending them out to hospitals that include hearing and balance screenings for all those patients, even the short-term hospitalizations as well as the long COVID cases that are out there. So that was pretty cool.
That's excellent, thank you. Anyone else have any takeaways or anything that you plan on doing based on what new information you found? I know. It is 8:23, which means that it's 10:23 already East Coast time. How many people are from the East Coast? This isn't early, see? Don't act like it's early.
Well, first and foremost, I think it's very inspiring as a student. We could all speak how the next generation is ready and inspired by all of you. So thank you. For me, I learned how I'm going to practice in the future and what I could give back and how we can evolve. You know, we have cognition, vestib, tinnitus. So it's very inspiring. I just wanted to comment on that because we're the next generation and we're surrounded by all the greats.
That's right. How many students have a TikTok account? Okay. How many students are already thinking about that next room and removal person that you're going to get a signed release form for? What else can you TikTok, you think? Any good ideas?
Tell me you're an audiologist without telling me you're an audiologist.
Excellent. What else can we provide to our community? You know, they can be forwarded to Facebook, for us old people, for Facebook and Instagram. You can have those TikToks running. We're still waiting on our judges. This is a really, really hard decision. And I know a lot of you probably have some favorites. How many here participated in this business plan in the past? Perfect, thank you. How many wrote your business plan while you were in school and thought, wow, that was really fun? I'm actually gonna do this. Laugh, okay, you, I'm with you. Thank you, Rachel. Who else? Yep, yeah, you're like, wow, you know, this doesn't have to be just a task. Good Will Hunting was written by Matt Damon and, help me here, Ben Affleck when they were at Harvard, I believe. I think Matt Damon had an English project that he was supposed to write some story, and then before you know it, they couldn't stop. They went all night long. They're like, and then this, and then that happened. You never know when you're given an assignment how it turns into something pretty awesome, because you find that it's not just an assignment. It turned on something in you called passion. If you can run with your passion in any aspect, it could be marketing, it could be vestibular, it could be just patient outreach, just getting somebody to smile when they came in and they were disgruntled and they didn't want to be there. Finding unique ways that you can help your patients and you get to tap into passion is wonderful. So I really commend the students who wrote their business plans, presented them, and all had unique perspectives of how they're going to be different in their communities. Raise your hand if you have some different, unique way that you stand out in your community that no one else has. Anybody? Yeah, Glenn. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, so, well, our clinic at least has, nonprofit, APD, lyric, newborn hearing screenings, all things that are not offered in any other clinic in our region, even within 2-hour drive.
Super good. You're in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, right? Yep. Anybody else have anything that you're doing that's unique, you're proud of, and it might not be unique to everybody here, because of course we're all awesome and that's why we're here. But if you're doing something that, like they were saying in their business plan, if you have to drive 1 hour and 15 minutes to find the next provider for APD, why not think about doing that?
So students are amazing. I happen to be participating in the first student business plan when I was in school, so super exciting. And I realized ain't no way I want to start something from scratch. So it was very helpful for me because I was older and had to get out with my feet running. But anyway, we have a future audiologist program, and there was one student here that we'll take anyone. You come, we'll train you for free, we'll pay for the certified audiology assistant program, and that helps build the resume. And we've had so far 4 that have gone through, gotten in, graduated, a couple more that are graduating, and it's so awesome just to give them that heads up because it's a competitive program and they need, we need all the help we can get.
I love that. That's brilliant. Thank you, Stacy. How many employers here have a job opening? Raise high. Stand up. Who has jobs for these students that are going to be graduating soon? If you see that someone has their hand raised, where are you located?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Yes. Yeah. Who else? The beach.
So Daytona Beach, Palm Coast, Ormond Beach, Titusville, anywhere on the East Coast. We're only 1.5 hours from Disney. I think I'm pretty fun to work with. Sam will tell you, right, Sam? And we do a lot of extensive training, vestibular rotary chair, cochlear implants, tinnitus, so much fun.
And if you met Stacy, she's got a little bit of passion, so it might be fun. Who else has job openings? Oh, sorry.
I'm the spokesperson. My wife is the audiologist. Up until just the beginning of this year, she had like 6 offices, sold all but 1. As you can tell, we're still young, but we can't do this forever. So she has a job opening for either a 4th year that wants to go to, and maybe stay on as audiologist or an audiologist, because since we can't keep this up forever, we need somebody to take over the practice. So it's Demarest, Georgia.
Georgia. I think there's a song, but I don't sing. Jason raps, though.
I just want to remind everybody, if you want to take a look at your council ear card on your table, if you have a sparkly heart on it, you did win a prize, and you should go to the registration desk sometime today to pick that prize up. Yeah, this doesn't count, Larry. You can't draw it on yourself. And feel free to check the empty seats around here. They're all randomly put out, so. Yes, Easter egg hunt. Looks like our, yep. And you're up next. It's you. I don't know if you want to do that from here or up there.
All right, so we come up. Do we go up there?
Yeah, you can go up there. That's fine. That's fine.
All right, everyone, the judges have returned, and now is the moment that we have all been waiting for. Contestants, you have done a phenomenal job in preparing for this year's business plan, and you should be extremely proud of yourselves. I can see that all of you have a strong future in private practice. And if you choose to go on with those dreams in private practice, all of us here at the ADA community are here to support you. I know personally you can call and email me. I have a million ideas for you if you want them, but and a million of us do too. So we're here for you. All of you, please come back up on the stage so that we can present you with your awards. And now, welcome back, judges. As soon as they come up on the stage, will you please present your decisions?
I just have to say that was brutal. It was
That
so
has been the hardest
hard.
thing we've done. Wow.
We did not have consensus. We were not united, but only because everybody was so good. We couldn't agree on orders and decisions, and so we actually got rid of a 4th place, and we did a tie for 3rd place because we just didn't feel anybody deserved to be 4th because everybody was so good. So the tie for 3rd place is EmilyAnn Duffley for neuroaudiology and Miranda with sound vibrations.
Congratulations. That's great. So now you know we have the big one coming up, right? So we have the last 2 contestants. And again, as Whitney said, this has been very difficult. And congratulations to all of you getting to this point. So without further ado, we'd like to congratulate the winners of this year's competition. And that is Palmetto Ear and Hearing, Alyssa and Ryan. And of course, congratulations to Jill for coming in second.
Yes. Congratulations.
And then
We want to congratulate all the teams, and we want to invite the judges to come up to take some photos as well. Thank you again to our sponsors, Council Ear and Blue Wing, and thank you, audience, for your support and coming and supporting these young early career professionals. As preceptors, mentors, managers, and employers, we really do appreciate it. They have a tremendous impact on the future of audiology and private practice, so thank you. I did.
Good. Okay.
That concludes.
Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
And look for those stickers on the cards. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
They're all exceptional. You all
you.